Hello from Baku in Azerbaijan. It is the fourth day of COP29 and the day after the world leaders completed their engagement here. And so many of them are departing today, including PCS Musalia Mudavadi. And in the absence of the world leaders, the press room, which is where we are in, the mid kind of looks like this, empty, because a lot of the journalists at the COP usually come following the world leaders. They are world leaders, and so after the world leaders leave, many of them also leave. So that means with the world leaders gone, the political issues done away with, now the negotiations can start. This corner here is where the Kenya journalists are. Oh, here is where Kenya journalists are. Lily, say hello.
Hello.
This is Lily's Njeru, my colleague from Nation. Now, when we left here yesterday, something had happened. The Argentinian delegation pulled out of COP29 in what is known as the Trump effect. And the president of Argentina is a well-known climate denier and an ally of Donald Trump. And when he was campaigning last year, he said climate change was a hoax. And so it's not surprising that he has pulled his delegation out of COP29, and they were pulled out yesterday, all 80 of them. So now the question is why they came in the first place, why he let them travel in the first place, if he was going to pull them away. And there's also speculation about what this means for the strength of the Paris Agreement, which is what the COP process stands on. The Paris Agreement is the climate pact that the world came up with at COP21 in Paris in 2015. And so all subsequent COPs after that have been holding those discussions based on the Paris Agreement. And when Donald Trump was president in 2016, the first time around in his first term, he pulled the USA out of the Paris Agreement. And the USA being a key polluter, it's very necessary for them to be part of this discussion. And now with Argentina also pulling out and still things hanging in the balance about what Donald Trump will do this second time around, there's that feeling that this might shake the confidence that the world has in the Paris Agreement and thereby scuttle the talks here. Still too early to tell how things go. Papua New Guinea had in October said it will not come. Papua New Guinea is a country that always has very strong feelings about loss and damage, mitigation, adaptation, and the reparation for the developing world, and how they will be facilitated to adapt to the impacts of climate change. And so when they said they would not come in October, they cited the lack of commitment. The COP fails to put its mouth where their words are. They're failing to put the money on the table, and so they felt it would be a waste of time. Now, with PCS Musalia Mudavadi having left, now the head of delegation is CS Aden Duale, who will now lead this team until the end of the COP next week. And today on the agenda for Kenya, the Ministry of Housing, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, CS Alice Wahome is here, and she has a very busy day today. And one of the things on the agenda that she'll be doing is holding bilaterals with her Azerbaijani counterparts later in the afternoon to talk about how to build the resilience of the urban poor in 14 African cities, Kenya being one of them, and where these 14 African cities will get the $6 billion they need to facilitate this, and how they can also influence this COP to deliver some of that money. Kenya needs about 400 million of this money to build the resilience of the urban poor in the city of Nairobi. Day 4, we're on the ground. We'll give you all the details. Keep it locked on Nation.Africa and NTV Kenya.